Okay, so I was looking at the new numbers on Trust Bank in Singapore, and they are just staggering.
The 1 million customer mark, right?
In just over 2 years, that's 20% of the country's entire adult population. I mean, for a market as packed as Singapore, that's wild.
Yeah, you usually only see that kind of speed when a fintech is, just burning cash like crazy to get users.
But that's what we're digging into today. We're looking at a research report from pvtIQ that suggests Trust Bank is, well, they're kind of rewriting the rules.
Our mission then is to figure out how they're pulling this off without a big branch network.
And you have to start with their basic structure because it's not just another app, it's a joint venture.
Between a huge global bank, Standard Chartered, and the local retail giant FairPrice.
Which gives them what pvtIQ calls a hybrid moat.
Exactly. Because unlike the pure digital players, say GXS or Marybank, Trust actually has a full bank license.
So they have access to Standard Chartered's whole ATM network.
Mm-hmm. And that physical touch point, that's a huge psychological comfort for people.
Right.
For anyone who's still a bit nervous about a bank that only exists on their phone.
The report calls it a phygital strategy. It's a bit of a buzzword, I know, but the idea is actually quite clever.
Well, it works. By plugging into the FairPrice supermarket network, they've managed to get their customer acquisition cost their thick down to practically zero.
Which is almost unheard of. Usually you're bleeding money on ads.
Right. But they don't have to. You're already at the checkout line, and they just go, here's a coupon, here's a referral code. It's totally organic.
And it seems to make people stick around. The report highlights that active users are averaging, 21 transactions a month?
It's that need-based spending. You have to eat. And you combine that with their 0% foreign exchange fee card, which is great for travelers.
So they've captured both the daily shopper and the person going on holiday?
Yeah, they've got you locked in.
But, high engagement isn't always profit. Let's look at the financials, because scaling to 1 million users usually costs a fortune in operations.
And this is where the pvtIQ data shows that classic J-curve taking shape. In 2024, revenue shot up by almost 148%.
To nearly 97 million Singapore dollars. But what about the operating costs?
Almost flat. They went up by only about 3.8%.
So that's their cloud-native tech stack doing all the work. They didn't need to hire thousands of new bankers. The software just absorbed the growth.
It's pure operating leverage. And pvtIQ validates this with their proprietary Smart Score. They give Trust a 4.3 out of 5.
That's a huge vote of confidence. It basically says the strategy is working, so the numbers look good, but what about the public buzz? I was looking at the alt data score.
It's sitting at a 3.9 out of 5. And it shows that Trust Bank is absolutely dominating search trends right now.
But there's always a but.
There is. The data also shows that Marybank is starting to creep up as a primary challenger. So they're not running this race completely alone anymore.
Looking ahead then, management has this big target. Break even by late 2025.
Incredibly ambitious. But the report flags the real hurdle, and that's the share of wallet problem.
Moving from being the grocery card
to being the salary deposit account. Yeah. Can they convince you to trust them with your life savings and not just, your lunch money? That's the big leap.
And here's the final thing to think about. This amazing growth was built on generous subsidies, coupons, all those freebies. As they chase that break-even target, they'll have to cut back on that stuff. So when the free vouchers dry up, do the promo hunters stay loyal?
Or do they just churn and move on to the next app offering a freebie? That's the question that will determine if they break through that ceiling or just hit a wall.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.